What's up, Overwatch League? Who's ready for finals? Guys, this has been one of the closest MVP races that we've seen in years. Top tier competition across the board. We have to pick one. And for the first time in Overwatch League history, we have the same winner of the Rookie of the Year and MVP. That's right. Let's give it up for Proper, your 2022 Overwatch League MVP.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 Overwatch League MVP, it's Proper! Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for your season MVP, Proper. Unbelievable. Congratulations, you've won the Roll Star. You're the Rookie of the Year, and now you're the MVP. How does it feel to know that your peers think so highly of you?
뭐 루키 오브 더 이어뿐만이 아니라 지금 신인상 또 롤스타 지금 이제 시즌 MVP까지 받으셨습니다. 당연히 뭐 주위 팀원들뿐만 아니라 많은 팬분들이 주는 상으로서 좀 어떤 의미가 있고 지금 심정 좀 어떠신가요?
일단 솔직히 믿기지가 않고요. 좀 떨리네요 지금 살짝. 신인상도 받고 이제 저는 저보다 잘하는 사람들이 많다고 생각하기 때문에 MVP는 다음 연도에 노리려 했는데 MVP까지 받으니까 주변에서 응원해준 사람들한테 너무 감사해요 다들.
I mean, this is, I feel really great, of course. I'm a bit nervous right now. I really didn't expect this at all. Of course, getting the Rookie of the Year, I honestly wanted to work towards getting the season MVP for next year. But I got this award, and I just want to thank all my peers and all my friends who were rooting for me. And this is really, really great. Thank you so much.
Well, I think we heard from the man himself. Not much more to say. Proper congratulations once again. And folks, give it up for the one, the only, the MVP of the season, Proper! Back to you guys over at the desk.
Thank you so much. You're surprised, it's Proper.
No one could have known.
Who would have thought? But I mean, at this point, we might as well just give him the championship trophy. He's collecting them apparently in this event.
Are you so sure about that? I'm seeing a lot of different Dallas Fuel fans and Houston Outlaws fans over here. Proper, what an amazing year for him. Rookie of the Year, now MVP of the league as well. Such an impact player for the San Francisco Shock.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of things to say. We've said it so many times because he just won the Rookie yesterday. But
Daily.
He is absolutely deserving of this MVP award. Every time he steps in the server, he is the most important player. He plays everything as well. We know him for his Genji earlier in the year. Then he picked up the Tracer, had high impact. And now in the playoffs, making a lower bracket run, moving over to that Sojourner, hit, scan, roll. He really does everything, guys.
And I mean, he picks it up on the Sojourn as well. As all heroes this season on your screen, 4th in hero damage, tied for 5th in eliminations, 2nd in final blows, and 1st in final blow to death ratio. Proper has been an absolute beast this entire season for the Shock.
And you know, some people said coming into this season, Proper's getting overhyped, he's getting overrated right now. Where are those people at now? Because he has just been a force to be reckoned with every time he has shown up. I have so much respect for this player to be able to do it in your first season, and now he has the true challenge. Can he pull his team to a championship title?
If anyone was to do it, it would be him. Proper, He's an absolute generational talent, and I'm looking forward to see so many more years of proper dominating in the Overwatch League.
Absolutely. The flexibility and the skill on that player is beyond words. However, we do keep on trying to find the right words to describe everything he's doing for us, all the entertainment he's brought to the server. Now, that Rookie of the Year and now MVP still has his eye set on the Overwatch League Championship trophy. But first, Proper and the San Francisco Shock, they have to get past the Houston Outlaws. The lower bracket final is right around the corner, and we'll break it all down for you after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Watchpoint. Only 3 teams remain in contention for the Overwatch League 2022 Championship. And you know what? Let's just run it back, all right? Let's take a look at the
Brackets!
Everyone's favorite segment. That's right. Starting with the lower bracket, let's see who is still in it to win it. We will end up with the San Francisco Shock and the Houston Outlaws here, but what a run.
What a run from the San Francisco Shock, taking out 3 of the 4 APAC teams joining us here in Anaheim. It started with the Shanghai Dragons, then the LA Gladiators, Seoul Dynasty, Hangzhou Spark. The San Francisco Shock beat them all for a match against the Houston Outlaws here in the lower bracket.
And this is a rematch. This actually, San Francisco Shock chose the Houston Outlaws in the first round when they were the 2nd seed. And this match didn't go how the San Francisco Shock expected. They lost in a map 5 banger to the Houston Outlaws. It was a very back and forth series, a lot of different things happening. Dante was still playing the Orisa, played a little bit of Roadhog. We got a Roadhog mirror in there as well. Esperanza, the San Francisco Shock, just held on. But the one big thing that I noticed in this series was, first of all, Mikey had a poor first map, but he has since turned it around in the playoffs. But also, Lastro and Violet, that is the head-to-head. The Lucios, I have to talk about the Lucios. That head-to-head was very interesting because Violet outpaces Lastro in getting sound barrier. And just yesterday, Lastro was struggling to get effectiveness with that sound barrier. So keep an eye on those two players. But also, keep an eye on just the players in the servers. If you're a Contenders fan, you're about to be very excited because all of these players, so many of these players are coming from O2 Blast. We have Pelican, Merit, Proper, Finn, Kilo, Violet. Like, these guys have all so much storied history of playing on O2 Blast in the past. They know how to play against each other. They played with each other. Now on the biggest stage, they're playing against.
The new generation of Overwatch talent is here, and it's right here in the lower bracket right now. These players, they know each other, they played with each other, but now they're facing each other. I couldn't get more excited for this matchup.
Neither could I. Now, yeah, the players are very familiar with each other, and we here on the desk are very familiar with looking at Sojourn head-to-head. And we've got a really great one here for you, of course, in Leveling Up, presented by Butterfinger. Danny, what we got for this one?
I mean, we have to talk about this, guys. We always talk about Sojourn. I know you guys, some of you might be sick of it, but we have to because Sojourn is that important and has that much impact in the game right now. And so we're looking at Merit and Proper. Both of them honestly looking really great. Merit, I'm very surprised. He wanted to really carry so much yesterday, and he sort of popped off on that Sojourn. Proper as well, of course, beating this the Hangzhou Spark and beating Shy in that Sojourn duel. So it's really a treat to watch. I'm just very excited to see these two Sojourn players going head-to-head today.
And in the past, Merit did get the better end of the stick in the Sojourn matchup last time they passed, but Proper, going through this lower bracket, has just leveled up time and time again. That's why he is our MVP. It could be a very different matchup. If the Houston Outlaws are going to get this win, they need Merit to stay in form and get this win.
Now, if we're looking at those two teams, though, like, I mean, yeah, San Francisco Shock, two-time champion, not a huge surprise that they find themselves in a deep run into the playoffs. But that Houston squad, Reinforce, let's talk about how they got here, because this is the first time they actually made it this far into a playoffs. What's that transformation all about?
The transformation for the Houston Outlaws has been magical, quite honestly. They haven't been in a top 3 scenario since stage 1, 2018, where they lost to the London Spitfire.
Wow.
2018. I mean, wow. This transformation has been epic, and it's because of one person in particular, Junkbuck, who used to be part of the San Francisco Shock. He won it with 2019 and 2020 with the San Francisco Shock, and since Junkbuck became the head coach of the Houston Outlaws. Now, what did that transformation look like for the Houston Outlaws? Well, let me just show you this stat coming up on your screen right now. On control, the Houston Outlaws have leveled up dramatically, as you so observant pointed out the other day, Zoe. In 2020, the Houston Outlaws had a control map win rate of 28%. In 2020, San Francisco Shock had a 76% control map win rate. In 2022, the Houston Outlaws, they are the best team in the playoffs on control. So if the Houston Outlaws want to make a deep run here in the playoffs today, it's all about that control game mode. They have to secure them. We talked about the players playing each other from their past. Well, it's also a coach matchup. Junkbuck, who used to be part of the San Francisco Shock, now part of the Houston Outlaws. Another epic matchup for this one.
We're so excited for this one. Now, here's the thing. Outlaws' last showing wasn't as great and as explosive as their earlier ones in these playoffs. So I am very interested to see where our Preds are going. Are you still believing in the Outlaws, or do you think that San Francisco Shock is going to run it back? Let's take a look at our Preds for this one and hope we don't get booed again here by the audience.
What did you do?
No one in Houston? Not one? Come on! We couldn't have had... We're getting booed again! Where's the Shock fans? Come on!
Shock fans, protect us! Shock fans!
Oh, God.
No, there's definitely more Outlaws in the house than there are Shock fans, and they're very close to the stage, so I'm a little bit worried. But that is okay. I mean, Okay, but let's tell them why we went for the shock, all right? Let's justify it.
I think the San Francisco Shock have leveled up a lot since their last meetup with the Houston Outlaws. I think they have come a long way. Proper's in top form on that Sojin, and the Houston Outlaws took a pretty brutal loss to the Dallas Fuel. Yes, it's the Dallas Fuel, but I couldn't shake it off.
They did, but if there's one player to highlight, I mean, Danny put it right. It's all about the merit on the Houston Outlaws. He has to pop off in the Sojourn matchup.
I mean, and he tried his best yesterday. Merritt really did.
For me, Rookie of the Year, Season MVP, Proper. That's it.
That's it. That's all you need to know for this
That's
matchup,
all.
and that's it for Watch Point. The Overwatch League finals start right now.
Let's go!
Let's go!
It started as a promise of something different, a promise of heroes. But the path to glory is never promised.
This is a knockdown, drag-out, no-holds-barred brawl. What devastating loss. Heartbreak City. This is the largest mountain to climb.
But somewhere, a glimmer of hope persists. The promise of a new era.
The stakes get ratcheted up a notch. Oh! No way does he win that! That's what you want to see! Are you not entertained?
An era that celebrates where we came from. At a place we call home. Which heroes will fall? Which heroes will rise? The Overwatch League playoffs continue right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2022 Overwatch League Grand Finals. Yesterday was an absolute slobber knocker of matches, but today we are treated with two games that are certainly going to bring the heat. In our first match of the day, could one team potentially shock the world with one of the greatest lower bracket runs that I've ever seen in esports history? Or will their opponent look to ante up the competition, as it's going to be the San Francisco Shock taking on the Houston Outlaws? And then, waiting in the wings, the uncrowned kings looking for their title. It is the Dallas Fuel, as they will be competing in our Overwatch League Grand Finals. And we'll take on the winner of our first matchup of the day. But folks, we have had such a monumentous season. We've had such an incredible road up until this point. It has been over 1,000 days since we have crowned a world champion in person. So for everyone here right now, give yourselves a round of applause for witnessing history. And I have one last question for you. Are you ready? Oh, no. I think we could do it a little bit better than that. I said, are you ready? The Overwatch League finals start right now.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. It is the dawn of the final day. 3 teams vying for that trophy, but 2 of them have to face off in one final challenge before they can face the Dallas Fuel. That's right, the San Francisco Shock and the Houston Outlaws have one final chance, heroes. It's going to be a crazy one. Golden Boy already mentioned. Shock, they made a heck of a lower bracket run.
They were the Apex slayers of the tournament, sending home some of the best in the East, the Shanghai Dragons, the Seoul Dynasty, and yesterday, the Hangzhou Spark to make it to this point where now they've got to face off against the Houston Outlaws coming in from the winner's bracket.
Yeah, Houston Outlaws had a good run, even beat the Shock at the very beginning of the playoffs. They've got to have some mad confidence coming into this. I mean, the San Francisco Shock also managed to stop the Hangzhou Spark completing their lower bracket run. I mean, MVP proper, the desk thinks they're all going to win. The Pick'ems think they're going to win. but there's still a lot of green jerseys, a lot of Houston Outlaws fans right here in Anaheim.
I was gonna say, I think Anaheim might be more on the side of the Houston Outlaws. And you know those fans like to get rough and rowdy and passionate for their team. And I can't wait to see what's gonna happen because we're gonna be dishing out some big blows from both.
Anaheim, are you ready? Let's bring on the two-time champs, the San Francisco Shock!
Shock. This team came out of the gates guns blazing this season with one of the most strongest undefeated run that we have ever seen in the Overwatch League history.
Almost had a perfect regular season, only at the very end were they snubbed. They're looking to repeat 2019, their lower bracket run that they eventually went on to win. Lightning does strike twice. Can it strike thrice in this game? Look, Proper's already got the Alarm Rookie of the Year award. He's got the MVP. Dude's a role star. Can he claim that trophy too?
Yeah, maybe even Grand Finals MVP if Shock can get there. And they've got a lot on the team that will be able to boost up their confidence. Mikey going to be starting off in that tank role, as Shock like to do, to play him on control, to get aggressive and set up the team for success.
Let's bring on their opponents. It might be their final opponents if they're not careful. Please welcome to the stage the young guns from Texas, the Houston Outlaws. A team that had many questions coming into this year, with Dante swapping to the tank role and performing out of his mind to the surprise of many. Dude's a man of many talents. And two former O2 Blast members, Pelican and Merit, who have just gone Super Saiyan in the playoffs.
The arena is going absolutely wild for this team, and what else can you expect from the Land Slayers themselves? This is going to be your starting lineup for the Houston Outlaws. It's been the same one that we've seen throughout the course of the playoffs, and so there really aren't any surprises coming through from the Houston Outlaws lineup or the lineup for the San Francisco Shock.
And the sheer force of will, the courage, stepping up in the last few moments here for Merit and Pelican, just putting on unbelievable performances. We already saw the stat card earlier on, just the Sojourn head-to-head is just insane. It is Outlaws taking it over the Shock in that regard. It's going to be a tough, hard-fought battle, but the Outlaws have had an unprecedented run for their organization. Johnny spoke about it on the desk. This is a long time. In a while, they've been in a position where they can lay hands on that trophy.
Players are just going to be getting ready, but as they do, we've got to look back at a little bit of the historical run that both of these teams have had playing against each other for the regular season. Up until this point, they had played each other 4 times, with San Francisco Shock coming out on top 3 times, and more recently, the Houston Outlaws being able to stick it back to the final match for them in the regular season, and of course, the match that we played in Winners Round 2 just a little bit ago, which, according to Kalush, was one of the most heartbreaking losses that the Shock had experienced. They didn't want to have to lose to such a good friend in Dante, but they're back and they are hungry to be able to take it to the Outlaws.
We're jumping into our first match in just a moment. I cannot believe we finally get to play a playoffs on LAN. The San Francisco Shock and the Outlaws, it's their last chance to get to that finals, to take the trophy, they have to get through this, and then the Dallas Fuel heading to Nepal is our first map.
This playoffs match will be first to 3 and we'll kick things off on Control. And because Houston Outlaws came in from the winner's side of the bracket, they get first map pick, so they picked to go to Nepal. And there's a pretty strong disparity for how both of these teams have performed on this map thus far. The desk already hit on how the Houston Outlaws have such a strong win rate on Control. And we all know the meme about the San Francisco Shock and Control and how that one goes. But on Nepal specifically, Houston Outlaws are undefeated on Nepal. And San Francisco Shock have yet to win on this map. So it sounds like Houston Outlaws want to go to a comfort pick to get that confidence boost for the rest of the series.
The crowd here is already electric. It's going to be the same old comps I can imagine, although if Proper plays Genji, I think the crowd would go even more insane. Yeah, we are going into Village, our first round. It's the 2022 playoffs. Shock have made an incredible run. They make it all the way to the finals again. I don't know what to think. Let's unlock the gates. It's the calm before the storm. Shock versus Outlaws. TP's forward, and they're going to meet in the mid.
Looking at Proper to try to make a first pick.
Oh, with Dante going down, that's not good. Creative trying to back up. Quick reset from the Outlaws. Nice TP through the wall from Creative. 5 seconds till the point unlocks. Proper holding the fort down on high ground. Don't want to have Shock and free sight line, of course. See Dante and Merritt kind of skulking around. Crosshair's completely just focused on Proper right now.
Yeah, well, it's going to be all about trying to keep those Sojourns in check as Mikey and Dante both look to focus fire onto the Sojourns as Merritt and Proper are going to go for a duel of their own.
Shock end up capping the point first. They force Pelican's Wraith form. The bubbles have been used too by Mikey. Merritt almost landing that giant railgun kill, but Proper actually opens this one up. Snipes Last Row from across the point. The Shock get the recap. Only 7% awarded to the Outlaws there. Oh! Mikey fighting a small stagger too. On to Merritt, and Proper even going for a little aggressive peek. Look at this damage, actually forces Pelican to use Wraith already. Look at that aggression.
I mean,
he's got the overclock too.
What you gotta do when you have that overclock ready to go, maybe San Francisco Shock can use just that to be able to keep the Houston Outlaws from entering back into the point. But you will see Dante use those mobility cooldowns to try to force Shock to meet them there.
Kitsune rushes for both teams. As now it's just a battle of wills who will give it up first. Bubble goes down, an isolation onto Pelican, forces it to use the shift. And now Proper with the overclock, firing through the bubbles, a slide to the side, but Outlaws a little bit too tricky to pin down. And now Outlaws are going for the push. The beat comes out. Dante just leading the charge as Proper's trying to find value, but it's just getting focused out. Even a primal rage from Dante to force the rest of the Shock away from the point as they end up capping. Violet falls low. A snipe from there, it is good. The Strikers tries to teleport away. And now the low health members of Shock just trying to not to stagger too much as Pelican thrives a little 3k off the back of that.
Yeah, he's going to be rewarded with a Death Blossom, so that's a great tool that the Houston Outlaws can use, especially in maybe a sneak attack, as the San Francisco Shock have to come back into this one to try to retake control of the point. But where are they hiding? Houston Outlaws, they want to get a bit aggressive here. You see where Pelican is? He's just waiting. He's waiting to go and drop down onto the Shock.
Oh. Down in a bit of free space. Oh, 8 HP. Wow. All right, Pelican. There you go. Proof don't matter anymore. Violet goes down to that Death Blossom. Pelican's still pretty low, but without a Lucio shot, really just have to fight on the point now. Mikey makes an aggressive jump towards Merritt, but he had the power slide to get away. Sends him straight back to the spawn doors. 65% now for the Outlaws and building. Striker's still willing to kind of fight this. Couldn't find any presence when Proper from the side kills Dante. This could be a go time for the San Francisco Shock. They've had the Kitsune rush and Mikey's already back. Proper again.
What? Well, now if that wasn't enough, then maybe this is the go signal as Violet's going to be able to get a pick 2 onto Pelican. And that's a quick recap for the San Francisco Shock. They were able to hold on to that Kitsune rush as well. And Proper ready to go with that overclock. So we're going to expect to see some explosive damage damage coming out from the Shock to meet the Houston Outlaws right at main.
Well, there's two Kitsune rushes, but the beat for Lastro is going to come online quite soon. Lastro a little bit away. Shock are going to have to try and stall this out. There's the Kitsune rushes, but no, they're going to try and force the issue. Both Proper and Merit find a kill at each, but this sound barrier could tip the scales in the favor of the Outlaws right now. The focus fire just permanently on the front line, but Dante takes too much damage and Shock still control. And here comes Proper, railgun in hand. Dante jumps back to the rest of his team, and now the beat comes through. A headshot from Proper, a striker brings it up, and San Francisco pushing Outlaws to their limits. 99%, no one there to touch as they take round number one.
Some mixed reactions in the arena for that one. A couple of MVPs, a couple of boos. All right, we know exactly what side the fans are on right now. But I gotta watch this replay because Proper is getting that railgun charge activated. Dante peeking his head up just to get it taken off there by Proper. But he's constantly has his railgun charged up. And with the snipe onto Merit as well, that was a great way for Shock to start their victory for that first round. But now it's time to go over to Shrine, where we did see a quick teleport out from the Shock. Striker coming back there with the Reaper, but it's the Houston Outlaws that make it to the point first.
Proper starts the round off yet again with a bang. Oh, a double kill made that. As Dante's killed, finding his way to the exit door. All right, San Francisco. They're going to claim the point first, I can imagine. Not sure Outlaws are going to try and touch. Still upbeat to the Outlaws, though. They can regroup as 5. Shouldn't be too much time wasted, considering how quickly those kills came through.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty quick reset for the Houston Outlaws, but we're still waiting for ultimates to come online, so it's all going to be about the raw frags that both of these Sojourns can get. Merit trying to go on an off flank, but Proper's locking that down.
Indeed, Proper sends in a railgun. It goes a little bit wide. Now he's the main focus right now of the Houston Outlaws, but they have to back off. Merit's got a fully charged railgun. He unloads and does end up swing and a miss with that one. As Proper's focused once again. Look at how low Proper is going every single time there's an engagement. But the San Francisco Shock actually switch sideways with the Outlaws here. They're still going to have to choke to make sure the point doesn't get flipped, and it's up to Violet to do so. He does go pretty low, but there goes down the MVP as Pelican focuses the fire on him. As the Houston Outlaws claim a couple of their own, and the flip will come through.
Shock are still able to capture roughly 50% before the Houston Outlaws take back control. But this is where things start to get really interesting as we see both of these teams with their Kitsune rushes online. Houston Outlaws taking a very aggressive positioning. Merit's gonna back up to be able to save some room for this overclock. But what do these Kiriko do? When do they decide to lay down the pavement?
Ideally pretty early, especially if you're on the Outlaws, you want a quick wipe. Oh, Dante already taken down Proper. How'd that isolation come through? The Houston Outlaws aren't going to need to use any ultimates at this point. Kitsune Rush is blown on both sides as Pelican just unloading his Hellfire shotguns. As the Outlaws are going to find the cleanup. 40% in building. A futile attack from the Shock there.
Really nice value conversion though for the Houston Outlaws, just laying down the Kitsune Rush and being able to convert that over to a team wipe. And the Shock now too, when they use theirs, now they have to come back in with other resources, but Striker is still working towards getting the Death Blossom online. At least both sound barriers are available, so whatever type of damage comes out from either team should be able to be saved by the sound barriers.
Proper checking for flankers, already Mikey's in, causing a ruckus with that Primal Rage. Has to dip back to the rest of the team, same with Dante. Is he just trading Primals? But this overclock actually sends Shock into a little bit of panic, it looks like. Nope, they're going to remedy that with a beat. America gets chased down. A perfectly placed bubble from Mikey to stop that sound barrier reaching him. And now with a man advantage, the San Francisco Shock are just going to take over the game. Proper kills 2. Striker's got the rest. Pick up the check at the door, Outlaws. Your time is done here. 50% for the Shock now.
Proper are trying to pop off for the Shock right now as they start to meet Houston Outlaws in their capture percentage. Striker though on a single leg!
Nice Suzu, but is it going to be enough? Of course it's not. And Suzu, that immortality only lasts for a brief window. A nice early fight from the Shock there.
Exactly, and now they already have that Kitsune Rush back online, so Fink can send that straight down the middle. And when this is last fight territory, Shock could use this Kitsune Rush to close out the map here.
No ultimates for the Houston Outlaws, yeah. I mean, maybe the Kitsune Rush comes online. All right, they've spotted the encroaching Outlaws on the side. An instant Suzu, there's the Kitsune Rush forcing Outlaws towards the point, and Dante's already down. The Shock, without need to worry about the Winston, could just charge on forwards. Is there hope for the Outlaws coming in? Creative takes down the Kitsune Rush, but it's not going to matter. 99% to 85, the San Francisco Shock claim map one.
That is the pace we expect to see coming out from the San Francisco Shock when Mikey is in the roster for those control rounds and when the odds were stacked against them. This is the first win that San Francisco Shock have gotten on Nepal to kick off this series, so that's got to feel really good for the team heading forward.
In that upper bracket, quarterfinals, they ended up going down on control versus the Houston Outlaws. It was a close series. Maybe we get the 5-mapper. We'll have to wait and see, but if Proper's playing like this, it looks a little bit unlikely. We're going to jump to a quick break. Map number 2 on your screen soon. Don't go anywhere.
sleeper Mondraku. What is this man on right now? Oh, Zero puts vision in the dark, returns to sender. They can't get away. The damage is inevitable. But the rampage from Bedbest, this man looked revitalized. FD God from the top of the pillar.
And Seiko with that blade does get hit by the coach. He's still able to eclipse the distance. He's getting free. They'll be able to tap. Don't have a
What a sleep dart! There it is, just signaling the button. Oh my god. You're just not getting a solid selection there. Oh, what they find. Come on!
Whoever said lightning doesn't strike twice has never met the San Francisco Shock.
Just the depth of talent on their roster that can't be denied.
Some of the most hardcore carry performances that I've ever seen.
This is going to be a wild ride. Somehow Violet's going to come to the rescue, get a double kill. Kalush says, how about that one, Chief? See you later. Dude, his aim is so crispy.
Finn doesn't miss those. Holy cow.
A stick on Hardy. Strike is able to bring the Titan down.
Sam straight to the backline, insta-killing.
Oh, Mikey! San Francisco, the greatest team in Overwatch.
It's already heating up here in Anaheim. The San Francisco Shock and the Houston Outlaws with their final challenge to face the Dallas Fuel in the grand finals a little bit later on. The San Francisco Shock taking map number 1. Couple of clean rounds as we go into the next map.
And for this next map, Shock are going to keep Mikey in the roster to kick things off. Already had a strong map number 1. And this is unusual because typically during the playoffs, we've seen Mikey get subbed out in favor of Kalush for these payload maps. And then Mikey will come back in to anchor out the control. But Shock, they had such a dominant performance on Nepal, finally getting a win on that map and snapping Houston Outlaws' 5-map control win streak. So it might make some sense to put Mikey in there.
Well, Proper also had a hell of a game on the Sojourn. They talked on the desk how it would be the Sojourn versus Sojourn, but Proper stats looking anything but even right now.
Yeah, he had over 10,000 damage. The next best person, like 6,500? And then you got 36% of the team's damage overall. That's pretty mighty high for a Sojourn. And that charged shot accuracy, I mean,
And
yeah,
deaths.
you could see that.
Only 3 deaths too. How does a man look so cool, calm, and collected, winning 2 trophies and hopefully going for a 3rd after this, smiling on stage like that? Well, you put up those numbers, that is for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of Shock fans in the crowd. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We're in California after all. All right, Kings Row is the map. Like you said, Rose, Mikey's actually staying in a little bit, something that we don't usually see here. And this was Outlaws' choice.
It is Outlaws' choice. And so maybe why San Francisco Shock are going to keep Mikey in the roster is because during the playoffs versus the Gladiators recently versus the Spark, Shock have taken losses on this map. So maybe Mikey is the secret agent that San Francisco Shock need to get a dub on Kings Row.
It's strange because I don't imagine we'll see anything else. Mikey, of course, was brought in a lot, like we mentioned before, for the control, but we saw him a lot playing the Wrecking Ball earlier on in the season. Wrecking Ball nowhere to be found in this meta. Good for some, I guess bad for the ball players out in the crowd. But we'll see how they want to attack. I mean, it's probably going to be the Winston again, but maybe this is the change that they needed. Collusion in an interview was speaking about how they have such different play styles. They know Mikey is much more aggressive, fast-paced, just wants to go in, dive, 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 dive. And Kalush, a little bit more reserved, wants to play a little bit more of a slower game.
A lot of the Winstons that have found success in this new Kiriko meta have been very aggressive and have had to play with no fear, especially when Reaper is a part of that damage lineup. It's historically been a really nice Winston counter because of how much damage those Hellfire shotguns can do to Winston's head hitbox. So You definitely want a Winston that can jump in there and can test the Sojourn in the backline. So we'll see Houston Outlaws come out of the gates on the defense with the Winston. But Striker may be going for a quick pick here on the Widowmaker.
Ooh. Oh. A little bit more careful than that. Creative sometimes. Seen too many casualties there. All right. Houston Outlaws playing rather far off, I must say. We've seen a lot of different defenses here from a lot of teams. The Outlaws just taking it super aggressive, and Shock are more than happy to bring it to them. I mean, they're trapped on the wrong side of the map right now. I mean, they're just going to get torn down. This is too easy for the San Francisco Shock in their first attack. That's a quick team kill. Just like that.
Houston got absolutely collapsed on by the Shock once they were able to jump forward, and then just as the Outlaws started to rotate around, Shock were able to capitalize on that awkward movement to be able to secure this first point. Now they've got 5.5 minutes to get through second with this payload.
All right. Kill Captain Dante. That was their motif to begin with. Oh, been on the flank. Oh no, instantly spotted. There's no way you're going to get through into that. Well, yeah. Proper starting to fight off again with a nice little railgun. Pelican forced to use that rate. This is the time we normally see a lot of the teams just int basically onto the Reaper after you use that shift. But Proper's nearing that railgun at lightning speed.
Where's Stingo? Okay, all right. Maybe trying to go for a bit of a cheeky flank, going for a bit of that poke damage to try to get that Kitsune rush online. Pretty quickly outpacing creative here, so that'll be laid down soon.
That was really nice movement there from Dante. He kind of flipped around 118 real fast, just make sure he didn't get headshot. Oh, but Pelican can't dodge those. There's Proper overclock, overkill. The San Francisco Shock charge on forward. Proper with 3, make that 4, maybe 5. Dante hiding in the room, but nothing's going to stop you from this. Actually used the primal to stay alive. A big ultimate burnt. Outlaws not happy with that.
No, I mean, at this point, that was Dante buying time for the rest of the Outlaws to get back. That 4K from Popper set them back so much. He would come back in for the recontest, and now the Kitsune rush.
Kitsune. Oh, no, we're good. Everybody's fine. It's all good. Don't worry. The beat came out just in time for Lastro to save his team. Oh, please save the PC2. I hope it's okay. Houston Outlaws are still trying to hold on, but the payload is so close to being delivered. Oh, a small C9 from Houston there. Was it really a C9 if you were getting this manhandled? I'm not sure. Merritt trying to go godlike like he's done all playoffs, and Proper is going to take him down. The San Francisco Shock want to make this quick.
Yeah, that they do. I mean, Proper's already going to lock down one of the exit points for the defensive spawn of the Houston Outlaws. And with this high ground control that Proper has, he's going to be building up to that railgun once again. So 2 key ultimates for the Shock heading into this one with the Overclock and the Death Blossom. And Lastro doesn't have the sound barrier to be able to contest with it.
Okay, Mikey ends up going down. That's the second dot for death for the San Francisco Shock, but still, the Shock willing to fight this. I mean, depends how confident they are, but I would be up to getting 5 minutes on the second point. Proper's got that overclock. His second, Merritt building up towards his. He's 50% away now. Death Blossom for Striker available. Jump straight over the payload. Merritt didn't even go down to the Death Blossom, but Pelican actually bites back. Violet and Finn overextending. Kind of dossing around a little bit, but of course Proper's still trying to carry as hard as he can. Dante forced into the bubble. It's going to save him, but not for long. Proper takes him clean out of the game as the payload continues its journey towards third.
And at this point too, Violet's getting that sound barrier online. Mikey with another Primal Rage coming up as well. A lot of sustain for the San Francisco Shock to make this attack strong and also pretty low. But okay, a bit of a setback here.
All good, okay. Small reset, collect your thoughts, get into that next fight. Both support ultimates up for the Shock. Lastro a little bit further behind with 20% to go. If the Shock, they're all tracking well, like maybe they know Lastro's not near that beat just yet, they can just overwhelm them.
I mean, Houston Outlaws here, they can't overextend or else they're running themselves right into a Kitsune rush from Finn.
A Kitsune Rush is going to help Lashro as well build up towards that beat a little bit quicker, pumping out that damage. Speaking of Kitsune rushes, oh, they're actually, Shock are just going to go in with a beat first, a late Kitsune rush, and here comes this sound barrier from the Outlaws. But Striker leading the charge with those Hellfire shotguns, but Pelican and Merit making sure they burn as much time off this bank as possible. Dante making sure the DPS from the Shock cannot get a clear shot on the back line. It's only Proper left. He's only just hit that respawn. 2 minutes disappearing from the Shock's time bank now. 3 to go.
Houston Outlaws has such a beautiful disengage there, which got a lot of time for Lashro to come back in with the sound barrier to help preserve the team and this defense. But with the wraparound the San Francisco Shock are going for here, Dante can just start to jockey around this corner, but the overclock from Mirror trying to shut them down.
But look, you can see Mikey just diving in straight away. Has to retreat for a moment, just waiting for that overclock to fade. Still with 100 charges. Oh, okay, maybe not anymore. Merritt didn't end up missing that shot, and now it's Proper's turn to lay waste to the Outlaws. They get chased all the way back into their spawn, not where you want to be at all. Merritt falls, but they do trade for Strikers. Proper's still trying to search for the kill onto Pelican. He secures it, and now it's just Lashro and Dante on the point to try and keep things alive. Creative is going to be here in the DPS. The Outlaws are respawning, and with Pelican's Death Blossom, this could be their final stand.
Have that. Maybe the sound barrier from Lashro getting online too. How much time can Houston Outlaws buy?
No, Lashro ends up going down. No beat now for the Outlaws and no speed. This Death Blossom from Pelican has to be massive. He's waiting out on the payload with his Death Blossom, but he's struggling to find an entrance, and Proper shuts the door on him. And the Shock take over the last point. The beat to secure. No sound barrier for you, Outlaws. The Shock complete with time. 1 minute and 32 seconds in that time bank.
San Francisco Shock had walked into that second point with 5.5 minutes. Kept up that quick pace entering into third. Very impressive that the Houston Outlaws were able to whittle away so much of that insurmountable time bank. Kind of came down to the wire there. San Francisco Shock still finished with 1.5 minutes, but now Houston Outlaws, they have to complete the entire map. And so we need to see them set an aggressive pace, especially when Mikey is a little bit more eager to jump into the back line right now.
This track is so clean. All right, the Shock, well, importantly too, they did finish with over 1 minute, right? So Outlaws are going to have to match them.
That replay too, I mean, Proper right now, he's got 29.
Deadlift him right now.
I know, that's what I was I couldn't get there fast.
It's all right, there's a lot of numbers on the screen.
Proper's deadlifting right now is all what we wanted to say.
16 final blows out of the 29 that San Francisco Shock currently have, doing 37% of his team's damage. He's got a backpack big enough for 4, and the Shock are in it.
He's going to take an aggressive positioning. You saw the disruptor shot from Proper as well. Just be able to get a lot of damage down onto the Outlaws.
All right, another aggressive hold, this time by the Shock. Oh, Finn. Those kunais, yeah, they hurt. Not a place though you want to be. I love when the Kirikos actually hold forward there. You can play around the Mega Pack. That Swift Step. It's on a fairly low cooldown, considering how strong that ability is. It's good to see aggressive supports using it. You get a lot more ult charge too if you put down early damage. Speaking of damage, oh, Striker already dead. 3.5 minutes to go. The San Francisco Shock now taking the duel. Proper unfazed by the encroaching Winston is still managed to kill Merit. The Outlaws still have a nice spawn advantage though. I mean, their spawn is a lot closer, but look at this. It looks like Outlaws are just going to back out. Oh, Dante's caught! He couldn't quite get over the little ledge. And now Pelican's trapped in a room all alone. And now the San Francisco Shock staking their claim on the spawn doors of the Outlaws.
Proper going to hold down that front line as well. With that overclock available, will be the first ultimate of this round on King's Row. Creative just trying to get a little bit of pressure there, playing on that high ground ledge, but has to go in with this Kitsune rush to try to break through the defense.
EP spawn, Kitsune rushes, and Pelican just trying to get max value with it, actually forcing away Finn, who's also laid down his own Kitsune rush. Finn couldn't get to the rest of his team because Pelican was just standing in front of him. A few past Pelican. He's going to two-tap you with the Reaper. And now Merit's on a nice little angle in Hotel as Houston Outlaws regain control of the point. 2 ticks online, but Shock still looking for another entrance. A rate form actually for Striker gets onto the point, and they even lay down the beat. They don't want to give this one up. Said it like 92%, but you can't get back. And with 2 minutes to go, the Shock with a heck of a defense, a Primal Rage will end this push. Outlaws, they're going back to spawn.
Outlaws walked away with 2/3 of the pie, but that was all because Shock were able to disengage and then come back in.
Oh, Striker! Ultimate disrespect. This is the speed, the pace that you expect when Mikey's in, playing all the way up to the front line. Oh, Lastro. Oh, no, please don't say it. Oh, the Ajax. Oh, no sound barrier for Outlaws now. They're going to have to do this one without support ultimates. They're relying on Mele and Perican to find the kill, but Proper's on the flank. Creative in his sights, has to Suzu himself. The Outlaws feeling pretty rough about that one. Kitsune rush from the Kiriko to march them forward. Merit actually takes the better of him. A double kill. Merit's coming alive. Both DPS ultimates had to be used in this fight as they have no sound barrier to back them up. And here it is. A nice little team kill, and that'll be point A unlocked. They're going to get the payload going.
Houston Outlaws are one of those types of teams when their backs are against the wall, they always clutch it out. And so that was a beautiful point A capture, and now they finally get to get that payload rolling. But it's going to have to be off the back of this Kitsune Russian creative if they want to keep this momentum pushing forward. That should allow them to get into the face of Mikey, as long as they don't get punished in the backline for giving up too much space when Mikey jumps in. Also gotta watch out for Proper, as he's gonna get set up on a flank here with the overclock too.
The Outlaws have a Kitsune Rush advantage right now. Finn used that in the last fight to try and win it and hold on to that point. Should be a pretty easy fight here for the Outlaws if they don't get jumped on by this shot first. Speaking of which, all right, there's the Kitsune Rush, the Suzu. They're WM1ing. Yeah, and Mikey's down. At least Finn kills creative, which is nice. Strike is still on the point, trying to make him hurt, but no. The Outlaws, they control now. But with only 2 minutes to go, the Shock are going to have an easy recontest.
The recontest is even bigger for the Shock here too, because they do have Violet's sound barrier to be able to back that up alongside Mikey's Primal Rage. So tons of sustain on the board, and there's not really enough DPS pressure on the Houston Outlaws to be able to overwhelm that overhealth that the Shock will be able to have. So it's going to be on Lastro's speed. They've got to be able to use this and time it right.
Nice disruptive shot there in the choke point. Actually forcing out a lot of cooldowns right now from the Houston Outlaws. Mike trying to bash the DPS into the sights of Proper. He was just laying in wait, trying to leverage that ultimate from Mikey.
Great disengage there from the Houston Outlaws, and now they're going to be able to take an ultimate economy advantage when you see Mare and Pelican working up to their DPS ult.
Nice little flank there. That Kitsune Rush is pretty good for Finn as Dante jumps into the backline. A Suzu to help the backline more, the Outlaws, but you can't help them from that. Proper's just immense damage coming out. That was a really nice response from the Shock. They saw Finn was getting domed. The Kitsune Rush straight towards the backline, and the rest was history. The Shock now making their final stand on this second point with 50 seconds to go.
3 ultimates on the board for both teams, but it's overwhelming DPS pressure and how these sound barriers go. Lastro didn't get a chance to use it a little bit earlier in order to contend with Striker's Death Blossom.
Oh, that was just dirty Striker, just hiding away. Oh, with 30 seconds now, and Striker popping out of the woodworks to disrupt this push of the Outlaws. This is going to be a struggle. Someone's going to have to touch. The Outlaws have a beat, but Violet's there to match. These overclocks from Merit and Proper, they're going to signal the end of this match or the continuation onto that third point.
Lastro's going to have to use his sound barrier pretty aggressively as well, just so they're able to make it to this payload. And Shock
they're going fast. Oh, Proper going pretty low, but he has no fear. Dives straight into the backline, but Lastro's been caught. The beat again. Ajaxed. The Houston Outlaws with little to no support left. The San Francisco Shock determined to hold this on. The second point. Match point in their sights. Their victory so close. But they just have to deal with Dante in the front line. Perma healed by Creative as Lastro joins the fray once again. A perfect stall from the Outlaws, but is it going to be enough? A Suzu forward from Finn to protect the front line as Proper is just dominating Merit on the high ground. A big focus onto the Sojourn as he falls. Lastro and Creative, the last hope, the last attempt to try and hold, but it's not going to be enough. The San Francisco shot on match point. Their miracle run through the lower bracket is about to be complete. The Houston Outlaws absolutely absent from this game so far. Their thirst for a third title must be quenched. And the San Francisco Shock are making this a quick one.
Match point already for the Shock. After such a big performance coming out from Proper, you heard the cheers in the arena for the Alarm Rookie of the Year, for the MVP. And he's about to prove it, maybe even now here, looking at Escort as our next map type.
A lower bracket run similar to 2019. Shock wanna do it once again. We're going to jump to a quick break. Houston Outlaws fans in the audience, you better be loud and proud right now because they are on the ropes. This is their final chance to go to the grand finals. Can the reverse sweep start here? We'll have to find out after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League, and by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Qualification into tournament number 3 is still completely in the open.
Now Hawk in trouble, separated from the rest of his team. Not before Vigilante and OG get through that wall. Is Hawk already dead? Kai also falls, and the Atlanta Rain, it may be scrappy. It's double supports versus a tank. Oh, saying that, not a support, it's Speedly. Kai ends up falling, and it's just a slugfest. Oh, Vigilante, no way! No way OG gets 2 boops there! Both Backbone and Hattie sent to the drink? What? What is with this corner? Just ridiculous plays, by the way. The Atlanta Rain, OG gets a double boop, an unbelievable amount of ult charge for that B, plus extra meterage.
God, the swing of the tempo of that fight.
Yeah, now going to jump over to the point itself. Just keep it locked in the middle for now. Zest with 8 HP. And Lit finds Carpe! He used the debug command again, Avril. Someone needs to take away the admin privileges. As they find 2-for-1 trade. Void, the only person going down so far for the Dragons, but that's enough. The Dragons get the bot in motion.
Stop! There's too much! He finds
Zest as well! Oh!
Man, it's fragging once again.
San Francisco don't have too much left, so they do not want to be reactive here. It's about setting the pace for San Francisco. Kalush tries to do so, but he takes so much damage that it has to be an early commanding shout that only affects him. Rampage going to catch on a 2 from Kellerman. Proper is there. Oh my! I don't know how he gets Flora. Severs the Achilles from below, and that's 4 for Proper. Fantastic blade. Callan's really a footnote at this point. He can't achieve anything on his own. And San Francisco convert a losing fight in a spawn camp scenario into a huge win.
Krong taking a lot of damage right now. Dead. Cut off from the team, and there's the blade to seal the deal. Double knifing coming in for Krong. Et Brute. As they will now have Vindane following up on those kills and pushed all the way back to the spawn room again.
Wow.
This is the Soul Classic at the moment.
Man of Lucio popping up on the kill feed just a little bit there.
A Rampage versus Rampage again. Mirrors is pretty big. A counter Rampage from Dante aimed it straight at Mirror. King of Mirror in trouble. Blade pulled from Pelican straight to the back. His fancy footwork looking like Wooks out here. 4K for Pelican, or 5K in fact. 4K with the blade. Pelican getting just a random solo kill at the very start of the fight. Ooh, this guy's pretty good.
don't let me in.
Please don't let me into my zone. I just need some time of my own. All these people trying to get a conversation. Need some conversation that tone. Got eyes on that throne, yeah. So I'm never alone, yeah. All these people trying to box me in. I'm in my weather, it's on, yeah. Now they ask where I'm at. Making hits that line back. I'm MJ, I'm 2-3, man. I just need some time back. I'm zoned in like defense. My life gone, no recess. But I live my best one, so I got no regrets. So I'm gone. Finally back in my home. I'm working like so much, they swear I had me a clone. Can't answer my phone now, just leave it there, that tone. Ballin', can't beat me up, cause I'm back in my zone now. Cause I'm back in my zone.
Welcome back. Houston down 2 maps right now. San Francisco shock on match point. Not a close game, not a close affair right now. I know there are a lot of Houston Outlaws fans in the audience. They've been cheering something fierce. We've got another fierce competitor stepping into the lobby though.
They were cheering fierce, but they're booing now as Kaluj is going to be subbing